In 2026, the average American child between the ages of 8 and 12 consumed approximately 6 hours of screen time media per day. When we extend this to adolescents, that number often climbs to 9 hours. While technology is a permanent part of our culture and will continue to be so, the scientific community has spent the last decade documenting exactly how this volume of exposure interacts with the developing human brain and body. Today, we will examine the data surrounding these digital mirrors, focusing on the specific correlations between screen volume and cognitive, psychological, and physiological outcomes. To understand the cognitive impact, we look at longitudinal studies, which are studies that take place over many years or over a long period of time. One of the most cited is the Quebec longitudinal study, which tracked children from infancy through elementary school. The findings published in the Journal of the American Medical Association noted a specific statistical correlation. For every 1 hour increase in television exposure at age 2 led to a 6% decrease in math proficiency and a 7% decrease in classroom engagement by the 4th grade. Researchers suggest this occurs because passive screen time consumption often replaces active play, which is the primary mechanism through which young children develop the problem-solving and executive function skills required for later academic success. Moving from the classroom to the home environment, we can analyze the psychological impact through the lens of social learning theory. This theory posits that children learn primarily social behaviors by observing and mirroring their caregivers. When a caregiver's attention is frequently divided between their phone and the child, we call this the digital distraction tax. It changes the nature of the social feedback loop. This is when a child does something and we react to it. The child sees our reaction, they react to our reaction, and it continues in that cycle. A study from the American Psychological Association indicates that high levels of parental screen use are correlated with higher rates of internalizing behaviors in children. These can manifest themselves in anxiety, externalizing behaviors, and hyperactivity. In this context, the device acts as an environmental variable that can disrupt the consistent social signaling necessary for a child to develop emotional self-regulation. Beyond behavior, there is a very literal biological mechanism at work regarding our physiological health, our circadian rhythm. We've all sat at late at night, can't sleep, and so we turn on our phones, and oftentimes this leads to further delay of our sleep. According to current sleep medicine research, exposure to screens within 60 minutes of sleep can delay the onset of REM cycles by nearly half an hour. For a developing child or a working adult, this cumulative sleep debt is linked to decreased cognitive processing speeds and increased sedentary risks. Furthermore, researchers like M.F. Rincon have identified that excessive screen time is often a displacement activity, meaning it statistically reduces the time spent on physical motor skill development and aerobic activity. It is important to note that the research does not suggest that screens themselves are inherently bad. Many studies show that high-quality, pro-social, and educational content can have a neutral or even slightly positive effect when consumed in moderation and discussed with a caregiver. The data suggests that the context and the volume are the primary variables in this case. In conclusion, the current scientific consensus identifies a clear relationship between digital consumption and human development. By examining the data on academic performance, the psychological mechanics of social learning, and the biological impact of blue light on our sleep cycles, we gain a clearer picture of the digital landscape. As technology continues to evolve, the focus of research is shifting away from a simple on and off switch and more towards a nuanced understanding of how to balance digital utility with biological necessity. Thank you.